Lloyd is a normal boy living in a small village called Kunlun. He lives with his grandfather and older brother. Their life is pretty mundane. However, all of that changes after a couple of years when Lloyd makes his way to the Azami Kingdom, where he will be joining a special army. When he arrives to Azami, he is met by the East Side Witch, called Marie, who allows him to stay with her while he completes his soldier entrance exams. At first, she didn't care for Lloyd or think much of him, but sees him create a magic crystal. Mary's former master, called Alka, who is also the village chief, arrives and orders Marie to take care of Lloyd, as it seems he is actually quite powerful. However, Lloyd has never thought of himself as anything but ordinary. Lloyd runs into a young girl called Selin, who is being attacked by a strange monster. Lloyd uses his strength to defeat the monster with ease, and his presence also lifts the curse that has been torturing Selin since she was a child. This makes Selin fall in love with Lloyd. The day of the exams arrives and one of the military cadets senses Lloyd's power and sees him as a threat. He is also jealous when he sees Selin talking to Lloyd. In a shocking twist, Marie reveals the truth behind Lloyd's strength. His village Kunlun is also located near one of the scariest dungeons with the strongest monsters in the whole country. Lloyd may be weak and ordinary in his village, but for the rest of the world he is one of the strongest beings alive. The results of the exam arrive, and for some mysterious reason Lloyd is not on the list of future candidates. The army officers Murthohan and Colleen do not understand why Lloyd failed to pass the exam. Since he isn't becoming a military cadet at the moment, Lloyd finds a job in a local cafe, which is owned by a retired royal guard called Chrome. The news of Princess Maria still being missing spreads through the land. Colleen investigates why Lloyd failed the test, and it is then that she realizes he wrote mysterious runes as his answers. Selin is determined to get Lloyd in the academy, so she decides to find Princess Maria and get Lloyd enrolled as her reward. Alka and Marie talk to Lloyd about his plans until the next exam. Marie confides in Alka about her father, King Azami, who was being brainwashed into starting a war with the Jiu Empire. Alka refuses to help as the people from Kunlun are way too powerful to get involved in small conflicts. Elsewhere, Selin fights Alan, who is one of the students, but soon Lloyd arrives. Marie shows up in the last second and uses her magic to fly Lloyd away from the battle. With this, she saved Alan because Lloyd could have killed him in an instant on accident. Lloyd is confused why Marie stopped the fight, but he thinks it's probably because he is too weak. Chrome figures out that Marie the Witch is also Princess Maria. Marie then explains that in 3 days her father will most likely declare war at a summit, but she doesn't know who is controlling his actions, and Chrome decides to help. Selin, still in search for the princess, decides to ask help from Marie herself. When Selin realizes that Lloyd lives with Marie, she gets jealous. Just before Marie reveals the truth about her identity to Selin, Lloyd naively concludes that Marie must be the hero saving everyone in secret. Marie uses his stupidity to further cover her tracks. Once Lloyd is out of the room, she asks for help from Rhino and Selin. Chrome investigates all the assassins who are searching for Marie, and finally finds who is behind the king's madness. It is revealed to be Murthohan, and when Chrome confronts him, he admits all his crimes. But that is where things get complicated. When Selin, Rhino, and Marie arrive, the king reveals that he is possessed by a demon lord named Abaddon, and that he was controlling Murthohan this whole time. Marie tries to stop her father with a rune, but he breaks her hand. Marie figures out that while the people of Kunlun can't interfere in mere mortal conflicts, a demon lord is something Lloyd is allowed to defeat. Meanwhile, Lloyd finds Alan hiding from monsters, and he gives him the motivation and strength to fight and be a true soldier. Alka is enraged because the monsters interrupted her romantic moment with Lloyd. Rhino and Selin, with the help of Chrome, fight Murthohan. They are able to hold their own until Lloyd arrives. The fight lasts not even a mere moment as Lloyd defeats Murthohan with a single slap. Marie asks Lloyd to clean the dirt from the king. Lloyd does it, but he doesn't realize that he is using a cleansing rune that has such strong magic it is able to cast out the demon Abaddon from the king. For a moment, the kingdom has been saved, but Lloyd doesn't understand any of it. The next morning, Shoma arrives in the city, who is Lloyd's brother, but disappears before anyone can see him. Murthohan is exiled to Kunlun and the king is cured. Marie decided to fully focus on witchcraft. Alan, who is grateful for Lloyd's help, submitted himself to his service as payment. Alan also gets Lloyd to fully become a member of the academy. Marie and Lloyd go to a mysterious location, and there he draws a holy sword from a stone. There is a special match between two rivaling academies coming up. Lloyd also learns healing magic with Selin. Meanwhile, Marie meets with several students from the rivaling academy. Two sisters, called Philo and Mina, meet Lloyd, and because of his insane power, Philo attacks him. Rhino is upset and doesn't want to come back home or to the academy. Lloyd takes Rhino on a date to help with her return home. On their date, Rhino reveals that her prosthetic mithril arm was supposed to help her draw a holy sword, but it just ends up draining her magic. The following day, Mikona tries to compete with Lloyd and prove that she is better, but Lloyd defeats her in an instant. Later, she goes to Marie to heal her because she wants to spend time with her as she likes her. The matches between the two academies begin and Riho and Raul fight, and the prize is the holy sword Lloyd found. The tournament begins and Philo fights Selen, but their match doesn't last long as Philo breaks the rules. The next match is between Lloyd and Mina, and while Mina uses her strongest water magic, Lloyd still wins with ease. Riho and Raul fight, both using their best spells, but Riho uses a special grade spell that causes Raul to pass out from fear. Raul is later furious when she finds that the prize has already been claimed. Raul uses Philo to kidnap whoever took the magical sword, but Philo makes a mistake and steals one of Alka's crystals. Afraid that something has happened to Marie, Lloyd runs to search for her. He confronts Philo and she demands that they fight until one of them dies. He suggests an arm wrestle match and then defeats her. Philo for some reason decides that she wants to marry Lloyd now. Alan later saves Raul and by accident gets credited with saving the entire town. A mysterious wizard seems to have manipulated Raul and her memories so that he gets his hands on the sword. He wants to master a dungeon in Kunlun. Lloyd takes a part-time job cleaning a hotel. The hotel's owner, called Koba, confides in him that someone or something is attacking the workers of the hotel. Lord Threonine, who is one of the most difficult guests in the hotel, talks with Lloyd. Threonine meets one of Koba's maids called Kikayo. They talk about Koba maybe raising Threents in the deep forests. Threents are linked to demon lords. Kikayo later accuses Lloyd of having Threents as he is quite powerful. Kikayo tries to drug Lloyd with putting something in his tea, but Koba drinks it instead. Kikayo runs away in fear of being caught, and the Koba starts to realize maybe her and Threonine are behind the attacks on his workers. Selen and her father arrive at the hotel. Her father wants her to marry Threonine's son, but Lloyd appears just in time. Him and Selen go on a special date while investigating. Kikayo tries to give Lloyd an antidote massage but runs away when Selen shows up. Selen tries to have a moment alone with Lloyd at the hot spring, but then Alka, Marie, Riho, Filio and Mina all show up. Meanwhile, Kikayo meets with Minoki, Threonine's secretary. She reveals that in secret she was creating the Treants. Then she is taken over by the demon lord called Erlking. Lloyd and Erlking fight, but it doesn't last long. Lloyd manages to tear out Erlking's demon seed and then Minoki returns back to normal. Shoma and Alka have an argument and it is revealed that Shoma has been working with her enemies to find the holy sword. Selen's father allows her to continue being a soldier and allows her to marry whoever she wants. Mikona is introduced to Shoma and a strange priest called Father Su. Elsewhere, the king instructs Lloyd and his gang to fight and defeat a monster snake in a difficult dungeon. Father Su makes the decision that he will be the one to fight the snake first. The gang all enter the dungeon and they are surprised when they find an infected Mikona. She is infected by Treant and she tries to fight Lloyd. She gets the upper hand in battle when Lloyd gets injured protecting Selen and Philo. With the help of his friends, Lloyd finds the strength and finally defeats her. The giant snake awakens and reveals to be Vritra, an ancient being that is the source of Alka's powers. Su shows up and kills Vritra, but the snake's soul escapes in Selen's belt that is made of its material. Su swears he will unleash a Kunlun dungeon and then teleports away. The dungeon starts to collapse, so Alka teleports the entire group away to safety. Again, Alan is hailed as a hero who defeated Vritra. Lloyd remembers that the name Su is from old Kunlun legends and it belonged to a fierce villain. A celebration is being held to honor the alliance between Jiu and Azami. Alan as the hero is forced to fight in an exhibition match at the event. Meanwhile, the gang all leave from Kunlun. They are also joined by a dwarf called Yug. The group is shocked to see just how much power an average villager of Kunlun has. Riho realizes that in Kunlun dragons are legendary monsters, but just annoying pests to get rid of. All the girls impress Lloyd's family while Selen feels left out. Marie talks to Murthoffen, who reveals that he received a strange egg from a merchant, which is the egg that started all the problems in the kingdom. To make sure Alka remains hold of her powers, the gang needs to bring Vritra's body back to life. Also, it is revealed that the dungeons by Kunlun hold numerous demon lords and the villagers are the guardians in charge of keeping the world safe. The dungeons also keep a mysterious force that if unleashed could change the entire world. The danger is because of Vritra's body being destroyed, the dungeons have begun to open. Egg reveals that the holy sword Lloyd found can open the prison, and he also starts to bring back Vritra in the form of an egg. Because of the process, Alka temporarily loses her powers. The moment Alka's guard drops, Yug is revealed to be a traitor. Her main goal is to open the dungeon. Yug teleports everyone back to Azami and closes all portals. She also traps Lloyd in Kunlun. After a while, Lloyd manages to find Alka and free her. With a special blaster, Alka teleports Lloyd back to Izami. During the ceremonial match, Sue and the king argue about their joined nations taking over the entire world. Murthoffen and Shroma fight, while Sue reveals he is an artificial creation by Alka. His purpose was to save the world, but after he completed the mission he couldn't die. Now he wants Lloyd to kill him and give him peace. Suddenly Lloyd shows up and accuses Hugh of faking Vitra's resurrection. Marie realizes that Lloyd has no idea what is truly happening but uses his stupidity to defeat Hugh and her creatures. Selen steals the egg from Hugh and Alka arrives now fully powered. Hugh is apprehended by Lloyd and somehow Alan is again given credit for Lloyd's heroic actions. Lloyd decides to stay and live with Marie and her friends. And this brings the anime to an end. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss out on another video. Until next time, take care.